horses race, the Ascot Vale at Flemington.
Lining into the Ascot Vale Stakes, people kept coming telling me how great Grey Sapphire was and how great the judge was. And my reply was that there's only ever one champion comes out in any 1 year, and that champion's Manikato. Therefore, he'll beat the judge and Grey Sapphire. And fortunately for me, Manikato was able to do that. So I got a lot of personal satisfaction that day. The horses just continued to give me pleasure all through his racing career.
Behind them is Grey Sapphire, and the judge can't get on the track at all from Caledonian Planet. Parade dropping back behind them. Caraman's moving up to be about fifth and Avenger behind it. At the 800, it's a good battle for the lead here with Manikato over on the inside, is travelling well. There's not a lot of pace on. Rumpus Room has gone up on the outside to tackle them for the lead and caught Sabre. They were followed then by Caraman, the judge, over on the outside, and Time Mahal, Caledonian Planet, and Grey Sapphire in the centre. Manikato just led with Rumpus Room under the whip running second, and then Caraman. He's got a good hold on this leader, then the judge. They're followed by Grey Sapphire, but at the 400 he let Manikato go. Willits had shot 2.5 in front of Caraman out after him now. Then the judge from Rumpus Room. It's still Manikato at the 200, a length to Caraman, pegging him back rapidly. Manikato just in front, Caraman coming at him from the judge. Willits using the whip on Manikato. He's going to hang on and win. And Manikato 1.5 lengths to Caraman. A length and a quarter third the judge.
The champ was back. He cut out the 1,200 metres in 19.6. Next he came out against all ages and won the Marlborough Cup at Caulfield.
And unfortunately I got suspended at Winnie Valley, and John Stocker got the ride, and I remember it was raining on the morning of that race, and I called in to, went up to the track with Bob, and we had a look at the Caulfield track, and the rain had just made the track faster, and it stopped raining, and he came out, and it was a very smart field, and I remember Johnny just sort of sat back in behind the pace. I think it was Lipman and Heartbalm, I think it was, led the field, and it was a beautiful ride. Heartbalm always had a tendency to lay a little bit, and Johnny just waited on him, and got the split, and he just went right away. I think he won by 3 or 4 lengths.
From Crippelox, a length further back, then Galway Bay, then Vice Regal, and next Private Talk. On the turn, Heartbalm, a length and a half, Shannara. Manikato's hanging a length away, a length and a half, Lipman from Quiet Snort, Galway Bay, Crippelox, Vice Regal, the others can't win. Headed by Carlaw. In the straight, Shannara a length in front now from Heartbalm. Manikato's getting the split to tackle it. Then Lipman, Quiet Snort, Galway Bay and Vice Regal, but Manikato dashed to the lead. 100 metres from home, and the champion 3-year-old's racing away. Oh, it's a brilliant victory to Manikato. He's won by 4 lengths to Lipman. Shannara third from Galway Bay, Quiet Snort, Vice.
They've really served it right up to Carpalaran here, and 700 metres to go. Earthquake Maguna hit on Carpalaran, a length away to Cafe, followed on the outer by Justice Field. Boulders Brass is next, and then comes Young and Rich, and a length Red Nose, Denburn, Ace Attack, followed then by Korea. From Blarney Prince and Rodway Glen, and 2 lengths away, Too Much for Glory, King's Ideal is last. Into the straight, Carpalaran taken on by Justice Field, threatening big danger. And Justice Field put its head in front of Carpalaran. Quinton getting desperate on the filly. 2 or 3 lengths away to Cafe, followed then by Denburn, and on the outside, March to Glory. Justice Field about a half length. He's had to go for the whip on Carpalaran, and 2 to March to Glory and Cafe, but Justice Field in front, 100 to go. Looks like a boil over a low. March to Glory is finishing well. Justice Field will win, and Justice Field has beaten March to Glory. Third home on the run was Cafe, followed by Carpalaran. A better break to Young and Rich behind those Earthquake, Lagoon, Korea, Denburn, Rodway Glen. And then Boulders Brass and Blarney Prince, King's Ideal, Ace Attack, and Red Nose was last.
Racing in the Epsom of 78 on a great start too, with Idle By and Monarchia wide out beginning brilliantly. So tooted for all seasons, rushing through near the inside, Digger's Daughter and Flying Flag and Cool Minstrel and Paravane are all handily placed. Flying Flag is a narrow leader on the first turn, about a neck to Monarchia, a length and a half to Digger's Daughter on the inside of Cool Minstrel, and then Paravane moving up as for all seasons, but caught out deep, and then Just a Boy followed by Idle By. Further back, Lloyd Boy with Sun Sally, Manawapoy about 9th on the inside rail, a length or so to Blockbuster, followed by Marceau, Leonidas, Aspar moving up 3 deep. On the fence, Princely Sum and Wellback Proficient at that point, followed by Orlandi, and then Taxon and Wellback Just Ideal with Romantic Dream and
Double Easter's last as the Epsom field approaches the corner. Around the turn, 4:50 to go now, and it's Monarchia on the outside going to a narrow lead from Flying Flag. Just a Boy getting a great rails run. Cool Minstrel is joining in further out. Lloyd Boy and Blockbuster is coming with a big run as they get to the 200 metres mark. Lloyd Boy went to a narrow lead from Monarchia and Just a Boy. Here comes Blockbuster on the outside. It's Blocky going up to tackle Lloyd Boy. Blockbuster and Lloyd Boy are fighting it out. Leonotis is flying down the outside. Blockbuster just in front. Leonotis driving at him. They split the line. Leonotis in the last stride, I think, by a nose to Blockbuster. Lloyd Boy third, and then Just a Boy, followed by Digger's Daughter. Then Marceau, Tax and Aspar, Proficient, Princely Sun Sally. Further back in the field, Monarchia, Flying Flag, Cool Minstrel. They all weaken badly. Then Idle By, Double East, Manawapoy, Never In It. Well back, Romantic Dream and Paravane and Just Ideal. And the last couple, Laura Landian, for all seasons in the Epsom of 1978. On the top turn at the 1,000, and Dungarvan went further ahead now, about 2.5 lengths on Olivari, a length to Sky Dart, followed by Ming Dynasty, and then Valadero, and moving up on the outside, White Tangarua, and Voigt's off on Over the Ocean, going up very fast. He's moved to third now at the 700, and Dungarvan the leader. Over the Ocean taking the field up to him. He's running a clear second. Over the Ocean, then Olivari, and right off the track, White Tangarua. Ming Dynasty is pushing between horses as they approach the home corner, and further back in the field then is Valadero coming around the outside, but right off the track, Current Issue, and then Belmura Lad further back in the field as they come up the rise. Then is R1 and Grey Affair to the extreme outside, and then Plaudo up the rise, 300 to go. Over the Ocean, just the leader from Dungarvan. Ming Dynasty getting through in the centre, race to the lead now. Valadero is trying hard, and right down the outside with a big run is R1. 100 left to go. Ming Dynasty is the leader. R1 on the outside is coming at him fast. Ming Dynasty stopping. R1 is trying to get to him. Ming Dynasty ahead in front. R1 lunged at him. Photo Ming Dynasty. Ming Dynasty won the Metropper, half ahead to R1. What a run, R1. In third place, Popular Demand. Fourth, Grey Affair. Valadero weakened, and then Preface, followed by Boldness. Plaudo, he ran a good race from Belmura Lad. Snows Royalty. Over the Ocean, failed to stay, although he made plenty of use of him. Then Dungarvan, well back in the field. Taurus Region, followed by White Tank.
Then it was into what is still probably the 3-year-old championship of Australia, the Caulfield Guineas.
All Manicato made a dive at the front of the stalls, racing now, caught them pretty well.
It was a sensational race for two reasons. Manicato in the end won easily and clocked 136.6 for the 1,600 metres. But Willits and Gary Murphy on Caraman engaged in a battle of tactics that brought on an unsuccessful protest.
Then getting down by the 600, horse of Tommy Smith's came up. Mick Marion was riding it, and I still believe to this day that Caraman sort of came out and left room for me to get there, because I just straight away went in there. And then the moment I got there, well, Gary Murphy's not going to give anything away on Caraman, and he attempted to hold me there. Well, unfortunately, it went on for about a good half a furlong or more, and we were just rocking one another. And on the corner, Manicato was going that easy. I just turned his head and gave him a kick, and that was the end of Caraman. But that was the end of me too.
Further back, Jubilee Walk, then Denburn, Comic Cobbler and Career is last. Down to the turn, 600 to go. Grey Sapphire, just the leader. Caraman and Justice Steel around the outside from the judge. Manicato a length further back trying to get a run, and then two to How Fast and Halberg. On the turn, Grey Sapphire the leader. Caraman tackling him. Manicato trying to push Caraman out of the way there, knocking one another over. Manicato's got clear. Grey Sapphire in front. Manicato coming at him now from Caraman and then Justice Steel. Manicato got to the leader, 150 to go. He's clear of Caraman, and this great 3-year-old Manicato's coming away to win in a breeze. Manicato goes on to win by 2.5 lengths to Caraman. Third, Halberg from Grey Sapphire.
A few days later, Willits was charged with foul riding.
On the Wednesday, the races were on, and I was just called in the room after the last races, and I actually thought at the time, well, you know, whatever I get, Gary will get the same, and you know, we'll most probably both get a rap over the knuckles. And I just walked in the room and they charged me with foul riding, which I think that was the most shattering thing that's ever happened to me in racing. I just couldn't believe it.
Manicato, the legend was forming. The big chest.
Racing now to a perfect dispatch in the Caulfield Cup, and on the inside, Lloyd Boy jumped out well with Marceau, and Belmura Lad commenced smartly. Going up fast in the centre, Vice Regal, and they were followed by Crepelox and Lefroy, and right over on the outside is So Cool with Ming Dynasty. They're followed further back by Taxan, a length and a half in Scepter. March to Glory, and R1 has dropped out to last. Racing down past the judge, a circuit to go. And San Rafael went to the lead by a length to Marceau as they go out of the straight. They're followed closely by So Cool, who's about 6 deeper. On the outside of Vice Regal, they're followed by further back as Lavache as they climb the hill. They're followed by Taxan, well back in the field, so is March to Glory. And R1 is still last of all. Racing over the hill, 1,100 metres left to go in the Cup now. And San Rafael showing out a length in advance of Lefroy. They're followed by Marceau, who's well positioned on the inside, and they were closely followed then by So Cool on the outside of Vice Regal. Parked just in behind them as Lloyd Boy as they race down the side, about 900 to go. There's Ming Dynasty around the outside with a great turn of speed, and they were followed by Marceau, and coming into the picture on the outside, Vice Regal, Taxan. So Cool has lost ground. On the inside, Lloyd Boy is going forward as they neared the turn, 500 to go. Ming Dynasty over on the outside has gone to a narrow lead from Lefroy. The challengers are coming thick and fast. Taxan is right around the outside. They're followed further back by R1 from a long way back as they straighten up in the Cup now. Taxan on the outside has gone to the front from Ming Dynasty, finishing on well down the outside. R1 and Father's Day from a long way back, and Triple Ox 200 to go. Taxan is clear, but R1 is flying home. R1 moving up on the outside to Taxan. R1 going home the better. Taxan fighting on R1. Taxan. It's R1. R1, I think, has just beaten Taxan. 5 lengths to Father's Day, third, then in Scepter, Ming Dynasty, Crapelox and Lloyd Boy. Then Lavache, well back as Big Skipper. March to Glory, followed by Stormy Rex, Belmura Lad. A long gap to Marceau. So Cool has run well back in the field, Lady Athenea. Vice Regal, Lefroy stopped badly, and last of all, San Rafael.
Here the leader, Fralo, with Lemur keeping with it on the fence, and Vice Regal now heading them all off. Then 3 lengths to Caraman and Halberg together, followed a length and a half further back by Family of Man and Marceau the fence. Then 1 to Prunella. Salamander's lost his position here. Then Panamint on the outside of it came just a steal and a half length to So Called. They've got 1,000 to go, and Vice Regal a half length to Lemaire. 2 lengths to Caraman. Fralo is there but losing ground, passed by Halberg. 1 away came Marceau. Family of Man starting to sprint forward. So Called commencing a run around the outside of them with Just a Steal, Salamander, and Panamint couldn't go when they sprinted. His 2 lengths last. Up the side, 700 metres to go, and Prunella took the lead, a length to La Mer. A length further back, third, Vice Regal, and then Just a Steal coming into the race quickly. Pushing through now, Caraman, Halberg's gone, and here's Family of Man round the outside. They were followed by So Called commencing a run. Salamander is next, and then Panamint on the turn, and Prunella headed by Just a Steal with Caraman the centre. Family of Man 4 wide, and here's So Called pushing through. Lemaire's well beaten. Caraman took the lead from Family of Man. So Called trying to get between them, blocked for room. Family of Man got to the front. So Called came at it from Caraman. So Called and Family of Man. So Called put his head in front, and So Called coming away with a Cox plate. He's won at a length and a half. Close to the minors. Dead heat. Family of Man, Caraman. Panamint got up for 4th from Salamander, Lemaire. Well back, Halberg, Prunella, and then Just a Steal, Marceau, Vice Regal, and Fralo was last.
Is for age. Hanlon kept Family of Man busy as a 5-year-old, and the horse responded in typical fashion. He'd won the Craigley Stakes before attempting consecutive wins in the Cox Plate.
Put his head in front, and So Called coming away with a Cox Plate. He's won at a length and a half. Close to the minors. Dead heat. Family of Man, Caraman.
Then it was on to Flemington, where he defeated the New Zealand mare, La Mer, in the McKinnon Stakes.
With them, and we took him away from home to trial him, and he got down in the float. So we couldn't trial him, brought him home and had to run him in a race without a trial on a very heavy track in which he'd never galloped on. And he drew the extreme outside, so consequently he was 300 to 1 and duly won.
After another win and a second to Regal Jester in the South Australian Derby, he was sent to Melbourne for the Victoria Derby. He was sent to Melbourne for the Victoria Derby. After a third at Moonee Valley, he did...
Now Hong Kong Island on the inside, jumped out well with Eng Pao and Double Century, beginning smartly on the outside. Caraman just behind them, Hallberg with thrusters going up quickly. They were followed by Bowdoor on the outside of Blarney Prince, and back along the inside to March the Glory as they race past the judge and go out of the straighter. Just a Steal over on the outside, a length and a half, 2 on the inside there. Dan Cairo, followed by Madison Bowl Passer. Brioche Castle is next to last, and tailing out to last is Society Bow. Along the riverside of the track now, with just over 2,000. Chiquita Lodge now and Gold Sky at the leader. Being taken on by Justice Steel, and just behind them Caraman with a run of the race. Over on the inside then, going forward next came With Trust, and they were followed by Turf Ruler. And Horberg is going up quickly on the outside, and just in behind them came Society Bow and Bowdoor. And they pack right up, 800 metres left to go. Gold Sky at about a half length to Justice Steel. Caraman in behind them. Madison has come around them very quickly on the outside. Back along the fence was Ang Pao, and they were followed by Horberg, who's come up on the outside with a good run as they pass the 600-metre mark now in the Derby. Many chances here where Caraman has gone up very quickly on the outside and is being tackled wider on the track by Horberg, and they were followed further away in the field then by Dulcify, who's starting to come home well. Justice Steel in behind them, followed by Turf Ruler, and back behind them With Trust, about 250 to go. And Caraman is clear now from Horberg, and Turf Ruler coming again, and Dulcify starting to fly home. Dulcify is out after Caraman. Dulcify going home the better, got to the lead close to home, and Dulcify will win the Derby. Dulcify has won by a little over a length to Caraman. Turf Ruler is third, fourth is Horberg. They're followed by Justice Steel, back behind them Dan Cairo. Then With Trust, a long gap further back, Society Bow, followed by Blarney Prince, and a long way back in the field, Hong Kong Island. The others coming in at long intervals, headed by Double Century, well back by...
In the Blue Ribbon Classic.
Into the straight they race now, and Justice Steel came out and whacked the favourite Caraman, but Caraman and Hauberg immediately swept past it to take the lead. Turf behind them, Turf Ruler, and then With Trust and Bowl Passer. It's Hauberg and Caraman together at the 300 from Justice Steel. Turf Ruler coming at them. Higgins goes for the whip. Caraman takes the lead. He draws a length in front, and Dulcify is going to be the danger. It's Caraman in front with Dulcify out wide, eating up the ground near the line. Dulcify is going to be too strong, races to Caraman, and the Colin Hayes trained Dulcify wins the Derby, a length and a quarter to Caraman.
Following the Derby.
Manikato, the legend was forming. The big chestnut finished his first preparation with Bob Hoisted by running second to the giant Always Welcome in the Cravenay at Flemington.
And they're off to a great start in the Melbourne Cup, and down on the inside, Lefroy jumped out well with Big Skipper, and Rain Circle began well. So did Jury, going fast towards the centre. Taxan in behind them, Masuk, and they're followed by So Called and Stormy Rex, and further back is Karua. Back behind them is Boldness, and very deep on the track is Valadero racing down the straight the first time. It's a packed field now, and Decilia has taken up the running over towards the inside, about a length in advance now. Bill Gola Boy is going up to take it on. They're followed closely by Masuk over on the outside, and Big Skipper very prominent just in behind them. Malure over on the outside of Penamint, who's still well back in the field. So Called on the rails about fourth last. R1 is dropping out next to last at that point, and last of all is Belmura Lad. Racing up towards the 1,200-metre mark, it's Bill Gola Boy, about a length and a half now, in advance of over on the inside Masuk. They're followed by Decilia. Back behind them, Veladero, Drum Shambo on the rails, getting a nice run as Big Skipper. There goes one around the outside of the field. Jury making up some ground, followed by Lefroy, and Taxanus coming right around them as they come up towards the 1,000-metre mark. A length and a half further back is Rang again. So Called is still well back, and they were followed by Penamint, who's dropped out to last as they come up now with about 850 metres left to go. Bill Gola Boy by a length and a half to Veladero. There goes Jury up on the outside with a good run as they pack right up. Taxanus coming around them in a hurry, followed by Vivaleur coming from a long way back. So Call's got about three behind him as they make the turn, 600 to go. And the grey Taxanus moved up on the outside to tackle Veladero, who takes the lead in the Cup now. They were clear over on the outside, coming after them quickly. At the head of the others is Karu from a long way back, and they're homeward bound, 400 metres to go. Veladero on the inside as the leader, being challenged by Boldness now. And Boldness ranged up on the outside to take the lead from Veladero. Karu, R1. Here comes R1 with a great run. 200 metres left to go. R1 takes the lead in the Melbourne Cup. R1 is clear from Karu. They're followed by Boldness and finishing well down to lead. R1 in front from Boldness, close to home. R1 in front. R1 in front, close to home. He'll win. R1 from Dandelion. Third home is Karu, followed by Boldness. Further back in the field would be So Called, and they were followed by Jury, and then came further back Veladero, followed by Our Big Gamble. Panamint a long way back in the field, and back behind them Rain Circle, followed by Belmura Lad, Vivaleur, Basidium, Lefroy. Bill Gola Lad, or Bill Gola Boy back behind them, and further away.
Run on So Called, but well back, and Panamint pulled 10 wide. Taxan went to the lead in the straight with Boldness with 400 to go. They're in front of Veladero, and here's Carew from the rear, and So Called trying to thread his way through the field. Coming at them also is Dandelion. R1 gets the split. Boldness took the lead. R1 raced to him now with Carew the outside. R1 just the leader. Carew trying to peg him back from Boldness. Then So Called and Dandelion. but it's R1 in front near the cup. Dandelete getting through in the centre, but R1 the outside has won the cup about a neck to Dandelete, a neck away third.
Yes, R1 was the hero that day.
La Mer in the McKinnon Stakes. 1 week later, he reached another milestone. He became the first horse in Australian racing history to win $500,000.
I remember then balancing him up because he had a huge weight and waiting. And whilst I'm doing this, I'm looking to the inside and the outside and looking for dangers and how they're summing up the opposition. And he was just absolutely just like he was just doing track work.
Family of Man's got shoved back. Romantic Dreams bolting but can't get a run at the 300-metre mark now, and Always Welcome's beaten. Arbrachane took the lead. Family of Man coming home hard out wide, but Arbrachane clear. Family of Man pegging it back, followed by Rooney. Family of Man's raced up to the leader, then For All Seasons, and here's the new record holder. Family of Man clear. Cool Minstrel coming home hard near the line, but Family of Man canters in.
He then made another winning hit-and-run visit to Western Australia. Following the Derby, Dulcify headed to Western Australia, and after an unsuccessful try at the Western Australian Derby on Boxing Day 1978, his return trip for a spell proved to be a traumatic experience.
He got very claustrophobic and hated aeroplanes, and so we decided we'd bring him home by road. And Terry Ryan was looking after him, who's now training in Sydney, and Terry's a very sound, sensible person who's a very good horseman. And coming home, the float broke down, so he was in 40-degree heat in an Ullarbor, and Terry hitched a ride into nearest town, borrowed a utility and trailer and float, two-horse float, came back, picked him up and took him into a place called Sejuna and stood him in the sea and splashed water over him until the float could get going and come and pick him up. And then that horse, he travelled him home, and we rested him till the autumn, and he came back a champion.
In the autumn of 1979, the legend was born. The horse was devastating. He won the first of 5 consecutive William Reeds, the first of 3 consecutive CFOs, the first of 3 consecutive futurities.
He was just absolutely right at his very top. He ran in the Reed Stakes. I told his owner that day he was only about half fit, but he was fit enough to win the race, which he did do.
Away they go. Caught them as one horse out of the stalls too. Manicato didn't begin all that well. He's taking a while to muster speed, but now he's going quickly and is going to try and head them off. And Family of Man dropped out to the rear. Manicato led, settling down a length. The King of the Stars, a half Mellowbrook, Dallas Girl. They're a half Mellowbrook on the inside of Dallas Girl. 6 or 7 lengths away then Marceau. Wonder Family of Man and Salamander is last. Up by the 600 and the leader Manicato, a half King of the Stars, 2 to Dallas Girl, a half further back then came Mellowbrook. 4.5 lengths away now, Family of Man is being hard ridden from Marceau and Salamander. On the turn, 3:50 to go, and the leader is still Manicato, a half King of the Stars. 3 to Dallas Girl, 4 away, dropping right out of it Mellowbrook. Family of Man's running on, but he's too far back, and Manicato, given his head, dashed away as they turn for home, 200 to go. He's 2 lengths in front of King of the Stars, 3 lengths to Family of Man, Dallas Girl and Salamander, and Manicato's coming away to win it brilliantly. Scores by 3 lengths. Second, King of the Stars, a length away third, Family of Man, Salamander.
He then went to Sandown in the All Stakes, and I think that was probably the best I ever had the horse. He was running at Sandown, the perfect track for him, 1,400 metres, his perfect distance, and he was as fit as I ever had him through his whole career. It was a star-studded field, included a horse from Brisbane who they thought was a certainty called Gypsy Kingdom. And Gypsy Kingdom chased him hard all the way, but just couldn't lay a candle to him. And I'm sure he broke Gypsy Kingdom's heart that day. And I honestly don't think that day there was a horse in the world could have laid a candle to him. He was perfect there.
Called on the inside of Lefroy, who's pulling hard from Lloyd Boy, Leonidas. Then a half to Double Century, 1 to Marceau, Salamander, and 3 to Think Big and Valadero. 8:50 out down the hill. There's no pace on for this class of horse, and the leader Manicato, a length and a half, Gypsy Kingdom. 1 to Family of Man, 3rd on the fence from Sasha's Choice.
He pricked his ears and had a great old look around the corner, and I just sort of held on, and when we straightened up, I just rode him hands and heels, and he just straight away again.
Manicato with his ears pricked on the corner, 500 to go, 3/4 Gypsy Kingdom. 1.5 Family of Man, Saja's Choice, Lloyd Boy, and then So Called. Into the straight, Willett still got a big grip on Manicato. He's nearly a length to Gypsy Kingdom from Family of Man, Lloyd Boy, Saja's Choice, So Called galloping over their heels, and Lefroy coming home well. Willets goes for home. Manicato charges away, and 200 to go. Manicato's racing away from Gypsy Kingdom and Lefroy, and Manicato's going to win in a breeze. Scores by 2 1/4 lengths to Gypsy Kingdom. Lefroy has run third. Fourth place.
She went to Caulfield in the Futurity Stakes of 1,800 metres. A lot of people thought he wouldn't run the journey. I remember we'd had a fair bit of rain on the morning of the race, and I was a bit concerned about that. But he won the Futurity very easily that day, and again beat a field of top horses.
The rails, Lloyd Boy, Leonotis 3 deep. Then about 2 lengths, Salamander, Think Big, and Family of Man, the last 2. Going up the hill now to the 1,400, and Manicato under double wraps, 1.5 lengths, Lefroy 3/4, Stormy Rex, and Leonotis 3 deep. Think Big. Coming down to the 800 metre mark, and Manicato still under double wraps, 3/4 Leonotis. Lloyd Boy moving up 3 deep around Lefroy and Stormy Rex on the rails, 1.5 lengths, Salamander, 1/2 length to Family of Man, and Think Big's joined Family of Man now at the rear. Manicato led at the 600. He's gone away about 1.25 lengths to Leonotis, 1.5 lengths Stormy Rex, followed by Lefroy. Then Salamander getting up on the fence from Lloyd Boy. Family of Man giving them a big start, and Think Big. Willets kicked Manicato away at the 400. He's run nearly 3 lengths in front of Leonotis, Stormy Rex. Then Salamander, Lefroy dropping out from Family of Man, but Manicato led into the straight by 3 lengths to Stormy Rex. Then Leonotis, Salamander, Family of Man is at the head of the others, but Manicato's much too good for them with 150 to go. He's about 4 or 5 lengths in front of Stormy Rex and Salamander, and Manicato's going down to the line to win by 5 lengths. Stormy Rex second, Salamander third, Family of Man a very disappointing fourth.
Hoisted next did a brave thing. Manicato was, at this moment, perhaps the best sprinter miler in the world. Hoisted decided to see if he could stretch the horse's speed to 2,000 metres in the Australian Cup.
Racing. Jumped away well. The mare stumbled slightly with R1, and Dulcifire's back near the rear, and Manicato quickly in front by a length to Salamander. When they settle down and Manicato, Willets takes hold of him. Turf Ruler is moving up out wide but doesn't want to lead. Marceau up there with Double Century, Salamander, and Lloyd Boy along the inside from Lefroy, a length the Family of Man, Stormy Rex. Then 2 to Think Big, Ken Karma, Lemire, 2 to Dulcify and R1. And to Manicato, 500 out. Turf Ruler, Marceau, Salamander, and Lemire 6 wide across the track behind him. Then a length to Double Century, the rails, Lloyd Boy, followed by Stormy Rex and Can Karma. 400 out, and Willets hasn't let go, and Manicato's 2 in front. Now he goes for 3 in front from Turf Ruler. Lemire's gone. Then Double Century, Lloyd Boy, Dulcify trying to get out from Salamander, Family of Man, with 200 to go. Willets waving the whip at Manicato. The champion 3-year-old's well clear, but Family of Man's flying down the outside. Manicato stopping, and Dulcify will beat them. Dulcify gets the split and gets up to beat Manicato. Third, Family of Man, fourth, Stormy Rex.
Not a bad horse to be beaten by, Dulcify, who might have been anything.
And Dulcify was one of those horses you appreciate more in retrospect. 2 examples. His great win in the Australian Cup was underestimated at the time because he started at 80 to 1 and defeated the great horse Manicato. More was said of his shock defeat than of Dulcify's great performance to come back from near death on the Nullarbor Plain.
400 out, and Willets hasn't let go, and Manicato's 2 in front. Now he goes for 3 in front from Turf Ruler. Lemire's gone. Then Double Century, Lloyd Boy, Dulcify trying to get out from Salamander, Family of Man, with 200 to go. Willets waving the whip at Manicato. The champion 3-year-old's well clear, but Family of Man's flying down the outside. Manicato stopping, and Dulcify will beat them. Dulcify gets the split and gets up to beat Manicato. Third, Family of
Manicato on the inside is just the leader from March to Glory. Running right off the track, Gondolier. Cafe went up second, and just behind them, Champagne Boy, but he's still got a grip on Manicato when they enter the straight. Manicato the leader now from on the outside, Champagne Boy, as they come to the 200. In third place, March to Glory, and they were followed by Scomil starting to run on. Manicato the leader at the 100 metres with the Ruppy, Champagne Boy the main danger. Manicato fighting back, and Dulcify coming down the outside will beat both of them. Dulcify's overpowered them close to the line, and Dulcify's won it about a length to Champagne Boy, a half length away third, Scomil. Manicato's weakened to fourth, and then Can Karma, Regimental Honour. They were followed by Brandy Sipper at the head of the others, then Cafe, then March to Glory.
Beyond the wheel.
Shivari in front, 200 to go. Dulcify second. They've come away from Happy Union, Northfleet and Scomeld. Shivari holding the lead. No, Dulcify's not going to get him by the look of it. It's Shivari in front as they get close to the line, and the New Zealander will win. Shivari wins a length and a half to Dulcify. Head away third is Happy Union. Fourth, Our Big Gambler, nice run, and then came Scomeld, followed by...
Again his campaign there with the Rosehill Guineas. But the next start, the George Ryder Stakes, was one of Menacato's greatest performances. To paraphrase a well-known poet, he showed them the method of travel. He came in alone.
And anyway, he went out that day, and Gary had been booed the previous week. This week I told him to give the horse as easy a run as he could, because I had the Doncaster in the sights the following week. Anyway, he won by 8 lengths. Gary had got a little bit carried away with the crowd booing him, and he wanted to show them what a great horse he was, and he really did that day. He ran a course record.
Outside next, Always Welcome, and about a length further back then, Belmira Lad from Joy to Manawapui, and at the head of the others then is March Legend with Romantic Dream and Lady Athenea. As they went to the first turn, and Menacado, using his speed, had taken over the lead by 2 lengths to Bernard. A length and a half away in third place, the Judge racing very awkwardly today. Getting up on the inside of him, Jester Boy, and a length to Cripple and a length and a half then to Fralo. About a half length to Lady Archon, 1.5 to Kaiser, and a half Big Vicky's, and then Belmira Lad, Always Welcome, fairly well back with Joyita. And then a length and a half further back, Manawapui. Last into the straight will be March Legend, next to last Romantic Dream. With 400 to go, and Menacado the leader, about a half length or so to Bernard. A length and a half away in third place, Cripple, followed by the Judge in nearer to the inside, and then Jester Boy. As they come to about the 200, and Menacado the leader has got away here from Bernard. Cripple went into second place, but Menacado's off today. He's 3 lengths in front at the 200. We're going to see the real one today. I think he's well clear from Cripple, with Always Welcome starting to run home pretty well out wide, but Menacado has blitzed them. Look at him go. Menacado's 6 lengths. When wins it in a walk. 6 lengths from Joy to second. Third, Always Welcome. Fourth is Belmura Lad.
Next,
Holy Toledo jumped well, so did Korea, who's being ridden along the lead in the early stages, and Double Century out wide just behind him. Coming over, King's Ideal looks like heading them all off with Satami, but Holy Toledo has held the lead, and they're going past the post, led by about a head or so from Bold Passer. A length and a half to Korea on the inside of King's Ideal. A length and a half to Cafe on the inside of Double Century. Satami 3 wide. Then 2 to Brandy Sipper and Howberk, and a length and a half further back down the aisle. Take notice on the outside of him. He's caught 3 wide early on Dulcify, going around them Lord Folkestone. Then Can Karma, March to Glory, and Regimental Honour, and last is Gondolier. On the back, Linda Jones of stop and start tactics here on Holy Toledo. Led there by a length or so from King's Ideal on the outside is Lord Folkestone going up quickly from near the rear. And he takes a narrow lead and draws a length in front as they go round that bend. Lord Folkestone in front, 1,000 to go. Nearly 2 lengths to Holy Toledo and a half to King's Ideal, 1.5 to Bold Passer. 3/4 of a length Career on the outside, Cafe the rails, and then Double Century travelling well in the middle. Out wide just behind him then came Cafe, and they were followed a length further back then by Brandy Sipper. At the head of the others, a half length to Dulcify on the outside, then Take Notice down the aisle, Howberk, Can Karma. Then March to Glory, Regimental Honour, and Gondolier. With 600 to go now, and on the outside, Career had moved up to join Lord Folkestone. King's Ideal about a length behind them, a length to Cafe on the outside, and a half to Holy Toledo, then Bold Passer. Double Century starting a run on the outside, and they were followed by down the aisle. Here comes Dulcify down the centre of the track, and then Take Notice and Satami. Double Century and Dulcify have raced to the lead at the 200, and they've come away. Double Century on the inside. Dulcify's almost drawn level with him there, clear of Cafe and Brandy Sipper and Career. There's nothing between them. Double Century's carrying Dulcify right off the course. Double Century, the leader, will win the Derby, but there'll be almost certainly a protest. Double Century a length to Dulcify, 5 lengths away third, maybe March to Glory. Cafe's in the photo with him, and then Brandy Sipper followed by Holy Toledo. At the head of the others then King's Ideal, and then came Regimental Honour, Take Notice, Howberk, then Satami, Gondolier, Lord Folkestone, Bold Passer and Career, the last 3. They're racing. One of the first to get going was Denburn. Manicado's got out very quickly, and he's going up towards the lead. On the inside, Imposing is going with him at the moment with Denburn handy. On the inside, Joita not far away from Paravane. A length further back then, Never Despair. Jester Boy is next on the outside from Cafe, and they were followed by Ben Sind on the outside. At the head of the others after about a length, Belmura Lad, and then a length and a half to Panamin, Bay Duke, and last Minuetto, and next to last is Romantic Dream. 800 to go, and it's Manicato in front and travelling okay, leading about 3/4 of a length to Cafe. A little over a length further back is Denbird. Another length further back on the outside was Just a Boy. A half length further off behind them, then on the fence came Imposing, and going around the outside, Cripplelock's making ground. Raise Your Glasses next as they're about to turn for Homeward Joyita, pulled about 5 wide. Then Leonidas and a length and a half to Marjolio, followed by Always Welcome. They turn for home with Cafe and Manicato, the 2 leaders coming up the rise. Cripplelock's on the outsiders just behind them. About a length and a half further back then is Luddenham Lass on the outside, and about a length further back Joyita running on with 200 to go, and Manicato the leader, but he's under pressure as Cripplelock's has nearly got for him on the outside. In 3rd place and coming home, Bill Muralad's the one on the outside. Manicato tackled by Bill Muralad, who's going home better than Joyita, and Bill Muralad comes away to win the Doncaster by 2.5 lengths to Joyita. Place for 3rd, maybe Marjolio's just beaten Manicato. On the outside, Minueto behind them, and they were followed home then by Joyita. They've got 800 to go in the Cup, and Boogie Woogie was just in front there from Felony, who's gone quickly to join him. My Prancer is handy, and close up on the inside is Blarney Prince losing ground. His double century taken 3 deep and going right around the outside, Lady Dignitas, and at the head of the others, Pay the Purple, Play the Game, Our Big Gamble dropping out. On the bend for home, Double Century took the lead by nearly a length. In 2nd place is Boogie Woogie, starting to weaken from at the head of the others, Lady Dignitas, and then a length further back, Happy Union running on, but Double Century got clear coming up the rise. He's more than 2 lengths clear as they come to the 250. I'd say he's got the Cup 1, Happy Union 2nd, Lady Dignitas 3rd, but they won't be able to take this one off Double Century. He's going to win by a minute. He's 6 lengths in front halfway up the straight. Here's Arwen coming home when it's all over, but Double Century has blitzed them. He scores by about 6 lengths. Lady Dignitas 2nd, close for 3rd. I think Arwen's just taken it away from Happy Union and kindled. Then Archibald at the head of the others. Next then came Our Big Gamble. They were followed then by Raylip, and next was racing this time. And getting out Well Idle, and also Mistress Anne jumped quickly, and on the outside Shannara is one of the early leaders. The judge is trying to get over but can't at the moment. Faymar has gone up to take a narrow lead from Mistress Anne with Idle just behind them, and on the outside Shannara. About a length further back, the judge trying to get over towards the fence from on the inside, King of the Stars, Chris Dole. Then Biscopole followed at the head of the others by Rocket Flame, and about a length further back Star Row for All Seasons. Mondiso is last as they neared the turn with Bally Red. The leader is Mistress Anne on the bend by about 3/4 of a length to Faymar. A length and a half away, the judge running right off the course, taking Welcome Star with him. Idle's gone up 3rd in the centre, and a length further back then King of the Stars. Up the rise, and Mistress Anne the leader about a length to Idle, who's inclined to hang in. A length and a half further back, King of the Stars being hampered badly by Idle, and then 2 lengths away the judge. Mistress Anne clear inside the 200 from King of the Stars, and coming home well for All Seasons. Mistress Anne the leader is holding them safely with less than 100 to go. She's got the Galaxy 1. Mistress Anne going on strongly, wins from King of the Stars and Idle. 4th for All Seasons, a good run, and then the judge who hung badly, followed by Cristal, Biscopole, then Mondiso.
And handicap conditions. Then to Queensland and the Rothmans 100,000. As in the Doncaster, the handicap conditions were against him.
He had to set a weight carrying record for a 3-year-old this day, and he travelled beautiful all the way, and he won the race well. I didn't pull a whip on him. He did the job good and got to the line good, and you know, that could possibly be one of his great wins.
Gentle James and Pacifica running on pretty well. Manicato now has dashed to the lead. Imposing's coming after him gamely. Manicato the leader, and Steel Blade joining in. Manicato's in front of Steel Blade. Coming home gamely on the outside there was Casca. Manicato in front. They go to the line. Manicato or Casca wide out, and Sharmos near.
As in the Doncaster, the handicap conditions were against him.
He had to set a weight carrying record for a 3-year-old this day, and he travelled beautiful all the way, and he won the race well. I didn't pull a whip on him. He did the job good and got to the line good, and you know, that could possibly be one of his great wins.
Gentle James and Pacifica running on pretty well. Manicato now has dashed to the lead. Imposing's coming after him gamely. Manicato the leader, and Steel Blade joining in. Manicato's in front of Steel Blade. Coming home gamely on the outside there was Casca. Manicato in front. They go to the line. Manicato or Casca wide out, and Sharmos near the inside. Then Imposing follow their way.
A little over a month later,